Right now on News 3, the Dane County Sheriff's Department holding its first active shooter training since the workplace attack in Middleton. And words of advice from Janesville as GM announces another round of plant closures and layoffs. And later, a News 3 exclusive interview. We sit down with the wife of George Papadopoulos as he begins a sentence here in Wisconsin.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. 2 months ago, Middleton experienced the unthinkable, an active shooter at an office building. The attack left the shooter dead, 4 people injured. And in light of the tragedy, the Dane County Sheriff's Office held an active shooter training at Middleton High School tonight. It focused not only on what to do in an active shooter situation, but also how to heal from the emotional trauma.
We stress mental scripting and just telling people to think, if this were to happen at my workplace, if this were to happen at church, what could I do? What are my options? You're less likely to freeze if you've thought about that.
The Sheriff's Office said in the week following the shooting, they got nearly 40 requests for these kinds of trainings across the county. They're now booked through June. To find out if there's a training in your area, follow the Dane County Sheriff's Facebook page. General Motors will end the production of 6 sedans by the end of the next year. That includes the Chevy Impala, Cruze, and Volt, the Cadillac CT6, and XTS, the Buick LaCrosse as well. The news comes the same day General Motors announced it would restructure the company, closing plants, laying off 15% of its workforce. That's about 14,000 workers. The closures will target facilities that produce passenger cars and parts, as GM says sales of trucks, SUVs, and electric vehicles continue to grow. Now, it all feels very close to heart in Janesville, where it was almost 10 years ago now the GM plant closed. Amy Reed spoke with the city about how they bounced back from a massive loss.
You had the plant closure and then other closures within the community. At one time, we had 4 million square feet of vacant industrial space here in the community, and that wasn't including the plant.
Even as Janesville moves on, the evidence, a big empty factory, still looms. With it, the memories of a 13.6% unemployment rate in the middle of a national recession. But just as crews tear down and get rid of the physical past of an old building, the city is rebuilding too.
It was really about developing a strategy as to how we could recover from that closure, and when you think about where Janesville's at today, I believe we've been very successful.
Gail Price is the Economic Development Director for Janesville. He wasn't in the position when GM closed, but he was part of the team that helped bring the economy back. He said these towns need to get a strategy together to keep surrounding businesses open.
Certainly they need to rally around the businesses that are there and the people that are there, and look at what their strengths are, what are their core assets, what do they have to offer companies that they can use to build off of.
His advice for the towns doesn't just come from experience. The Lordstown plant in Ohio is just 2 hours from his hometown.
Certainly are aware of the impacts that when there are some closures, what that does to families, what that does to communities, and it certainly creates a lot of difficulties.
He said it can be tough for communities to come back from something like this, especially in some of these towns that have already seen closures since the recession. But he said a strong economic plan that reinvests in the community can help a bad situation from getting worse. And though it may take time, it's an investment worth making.
I've seen these impacts, and they can be very difficult for a community, and it takes time. It doesn't get corrected overnight.
Since that high unemployment rate of more than 13%, Janesville has brought it down to 2.8%. Now Price is hopeful the path will be a little easier for these towns, given our strong economy across the country.
Amy Reed reporting in our news center tonight. Amy, thank you. Dozens of schools in southeastern Wisconsin were closed today in Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth counties as they deal with blowing and drifting snow. Several inches of snow Sunday. This wide-ranging storm caused blizzard warnings across the plains and Midwest. Around Madison, we dodged it. Let's check in with meteorologist Dana Fulton, our first alert forecast. Dana?
We definitely did. A major snow system moving through the plains of the Midwest, and you look for parts of Wisconsin, certainly picked up quite a bit. Other areas, though, not picking up anything. A big old goose egg for us in Madison. 3 inches, though, in southern Beloit. You go to the northern edge of Beloit. No snow there either. Rockford, Illinois, up to 10 inches. In Davenport, 11 inches. So, yes, significant snowfall for us yesterday in some areas for most of Wisconsin, though. Fairly mellow Sunday. Right now, we do have just a few snowflakes falling in Madison, some light flurries, but nothing that will accumulate. Overall, we're in for a pretty mellow evening. Our skies slowly clearing up, the cloud coverage breaking apart as we head into Tuesday morning. It's going to help our temperatures fall quite a bit overnight. 21 right now, Madison and in Monroe with a breeze from the northwest. Sustained wind speeds at 12 miles per hour in Janesville and in Madison. So that's going to help put our wind chill quite a bit lower than where our actual temperatures are. We had quite a windy day, those peak wind gusts in the 30s throughout southern Wisconsin. Now our breeze is going to calm down a little bit for tomorrow. We'll also get just a little more sunshine, but we're in for another very chilly day outside. 23 the high for your Tuesday. We'll take a closer look at that 10-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. New tonight, prosecutors from special counsel Robert Mueller's office say former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort violated his plea agreement with the government by lying to federal investigators. Manafort was convicted of various financial crimes in August before reaching an agreement in September to cooperate with Mueller's Russia investigation. Prosecutors say after signing the agreement, Manafort committed federal crimes by lying to the FBI and the special counsel's office on a variety of subject matters. Meanwhile, a former Donald Trump campaign advisor begins a 14-day prison sentence just 60 miles north of Madison tonight. George Papadopoulos pleaded guilty last year to lying about his interactions with Russian officials during the 2016 campaign. Only News 3's Jessica Arp spoke to Papadopoulos' wife tonight, who has also testified in the Mueller investigation.
Your husband today beginning a 14-day sentence at Oxford. Tell me how he's feeling and how you're feeling as this begins.
There's mixed feelings between something that finally reached this end, and so it's a sort of liberation from this purgatory we've been through for so long, is some sort of resiliation. He's ready to give his best back after all he's been through. He's ready to deliver his message loud, as already started to do.
Does 14 days seem like a long time or a short time to you?
Well, I'm used to spend 24 hours a day with George, so to me it looks extremely long. I mean, it's not like I'm in my environment familiar to me. Everything is so new, even Wisconsin. I mean, I'm happy to discover this part of America, but in other circumstances it would be better.
Based on what you've spoken about, based on the new developments we're seeing about Mr. Manafort and they're claiming he's lying and that he may have violated his plea deal, where do you see this investigation going? What do you think ultimately an outcome may be for your husband beyond this sentence or for the president?
If my husband, George Papadopoulos, is the one who originated the Crossfire hurricane, to me this investigation doesn't have much consistent grounds. Because I know it absolutely has nothing to do with Russia, but I cannot exclude that Mueller has probably other paths, to investigate on. And of course, my experience is limited to my husband's side. I cannot take overlook to the entire investigation, even though it's quite alarming that the one who triggered the investigation is George.
Again, Jessica Arp with that interview. The facility where Papadopoulos is staying is a minimum security camp. Simona says she's staying in Wisconsin these next 2 weeks and will get to see him 3 times a week while he's there. Once he is out, he'll still have a year probation and 200 hours of community service. President Trump threatening now to shut down the U.S.-Mexico border permanently after yesterday's clashes between migrants seeking asylum and Border Patrol agents.
They were being rushed by some very tough people, and they used tear gas. And here's the bottom line. Nobody's coming into our country unless they come in illegally.
U.S. border agents fired tear gas after nearly 500 migrants tried to illegally cross the border yesterday. Mexico says it is deporting 98 people who were involved in those clashes and is threatening to deport more. President Trump reiterated his call to Congress to approve money for a border wall. The number of farms filing for bankruptcy is increasing across the upper Midwest. A new analysis from the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis shows 84 farms filed bankruptcy in Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana in the 12 months that ended in June. The increase reflects low prices and tariffs on corn, soybeans, dairy, and beef. Parents are voicing their concerns to the Partyville School Administration after they say a teacher made a controversial remark in class. According to the superintendent, the teacher said something to the effect of, quote, "If I were a cop and you were all black, I would shoot you," end quote. The superintendent says the teacher claims that comment was made after a student was acting out in class. At the time, the teacher was reading passages from The Hate You Give. The teacher allegedly tried to portray the context of what the punishment might be in relation to the book's storyline. A private investigator is coming to the school on Wednesday to interview students who were in the class. Parents are invited to speak as well. A student is arrested in Sparta after the district says the student made direct threats over social media involving images of weapons. The entire district was put in a classroom hold for about an hour and a half this morning while law enforcement searched for the student, who was eventually located and removed without issue. No shots were fired. No one was injured. The Diocese of Madison says the funeral for Bishop Robert Morlino will be on December 4th at St. Maria Goretti Catholic Church on the city's west side. Bishop Morlino died Saturday night at St. Mary's Hospital at the age of 71. A diocese spokesman says the bishop suffered an apparent heart attack while undergoing some medical tests. Tonight, the Diocesan College of Consultors chose Vicar General Monsignor James Bartilla to serve as administrator until a new bishop is appointed and installed. Oprah Winfrey's mother, Vernita Lee, has died. A Winfrey spokeswoman issued a statement today saying Lee died November 22nd at her home in Milwaukee, and private funeral services have been held. Lee, just a teenager when she gave birth to Winfrey in Mississippi in 1954. They moved to Milwaukee when Winfrey was just 6 years old. Vernita Lee was 83 years old. Still ahead, your forecast for the week ahead, and if there are any more chances of snow, and a major step for the exploration of outer space. The story just ahead at 10. Welcome back. NASA's InSight spacecraft has landed on Mars, where it will conduct a series of experiments to shed more light on the past, present, and future of the planet.
Touchdown confirmed.
After nearly 7 months of travel, the InSight safely arrived on the red planet this afternoon. Its mission is to help scientists get a better understanding of the planet's makeup from deep inside. The lander, expected to become the first spacecraft to use technology to understand Mars' core. Over the next decade, NASA says its Mars exploration program will keep looking at the challenges in sending humans to the fourth planet from the sun. Looks like Americans are spending a record amount on this Cyber Monday. Last year was the single biggest shopping day of the year for Amazon customers. They ordered more than 83 million items worldwide. Amazon far from alone, though. Workers at Target are also racing to keep up with demand, and retailers across the web are offering deep discounts to attract shoppers. Cyber Monday sales are expected to hit a new record, reaching about $8 billion in the U.S., an 18% increase from last year. A portion of the Capital City Trail between Nob Hill and Fish Hatchery Roads back open after crews completed a 6.5-mile pavement restoration project. This was phase one in a multi-year, multi-phase effort to improve the safety and ride of about 10 miles of that trail. Phase 2 is expected to start next year between Fish Hatch and Seminole Highway. Phase 3 from Seminole Highway to Verona Road is expected to start in 2020. A special lighting ceremony is planned next week for the state capitol Christmas tree. It was moved inside the Capitol today. It'll feature ornaments made by elementary students from around the state, showcasing America's Dairyland as the theme. The tree was donated by a family in Waushara County. And the Packers are also getting into the holiday spirit today. The tree destined for Lambeau Field was cut down in Green Bay. Now the owners say it's been there for more than 50 years. It's more than 50 feet tall, but they say it was getting too big for the yard. They were looking to get rid of it anyway, so the free tree removal was appreciated. It'll be decorated as the week goes on, and the lights will go on the tree this weekend. Hundreds of Christmas gifts grown in northeastern Wisconsin are now heading to Texas to make the holidays brighter for members of our military. These Trees for Troops are part of the nationwide effort to remember and thank those who serve. They're being collected in the Lambeau Field parking lot. This program started in 2005. This year, Wisconsin farmers are donating 600 of the roughly 17,000 trees that will be delivered to over 60 military bases in both the U.S. as well as overseas. And Dana Fulton is back. If you're planning to head out looking for that tree the days ahead, it's going to be chilly, but
yes,
the snow outlook, maybe we'll get some, right? Later in the week?
We might get some, definitely by the end of the week is what we're looking at right now. The potential to see light snow, flurries, all of that in the forecast as we look to wrap up November and head into December already. For right now, though, or at least for the next few days, cold air is certainly our focus. No snow concerns for us overnight or as we get into Tuesday or Wednesday. It's just going to be very chilly outside. We will have a little bit more sunshine, though, for Tuesday and Wednesday. Today, no sun at all. Very cloudy outside. Tomorrow, partly sunny sky for Tuesday and again for Wednesday for us. By the end of the week, with our temperatures warming up a little bit, we will see some rain showers. But as our temperatures cool back down, of course, there's possibility to get some mix in there with some snow coming through. Our Doppler radar is nice and calm for us right now. It's just outside, and we do have a few snowflakes swirling around in Madison, but nothing too crazy and nothing that's going to accumulate, not like what we saw last night again to the south. That system, by the way, now well off to the east, impacting the New England area, bringing a lot of snow today throughout Ohio and Pennsylvania. For us, we have a ridge of high pressure right now building through the plains that's going to keep us fairly clear, but also very chilly. That breeze now coming from the northwest is picking up just a little bit today. Again, those gusts close to 30 miles per hour. Overnight, our cloud coverage will slowly break apart. Heading into tomorrow morning, our temperatures drop into the teens. By tomorrow afternoon, plan on temps in the middle 20s. Throughout the day, though, as you can see, not expecting any sort of precipitation to come on through. Another chilly start to the day for us on Wednesday with a little bit of clearer sky. Believe it or not, for Wednesday morning. Some more sun expected for Wednesday. And then by later in the evening on Wednesday, clouds will build back in, and we will start to talk about the potential for some light snow for the end of the week as we get closer to Thursday and even into Friday. So again, wrapping up November with that potential for some snowfall. Overall, tomorrow temperatures will be in the lower 20s. That's still significantly below average. But as we factor in that breeze from the northwest, even as the breeze is dying down, our wind chill is going to be in the teens for us. So it's going to feel even colder outside than what we're actually at. Definitely keep that in mind. Make sure you bundle up as you're heading outside throughout the day for tomorrow. Overall, as we look ahead, not just to tomorrow, but through the rest of the 10-day and even into our 14-day, our trend is still to stay below average, likely staying below average. And we've had a November filled with days below average, only about 4 days for us. Have we been even close or above average overall? Downtown right now, mostly cloudy sky. Average for us would have been 38. That's that jump for you. 28 degrees, what our actual high was early this morning. Overnight, or early this afternoon, overnight lows will be in the teens, 15 degrees overnight, very cold outside with that breeze. Dying down as we head into tomorrow afternoon, only about 8 to 15 miles per hour, but still expecting quite a wind chill for us as temperatures will land in the low 20s, but our real field temps, that wind chill, will be in the single digits. And the 20s for both Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we do have the potential to see some light snowfall by Thursday. Chance for snow lingering into early Friday morning. Right now it is just light snow, not a major accumulating event. Bit of a mix for Saturday and Sunday, our first weekend of December. And then of course that chance lingers into the start of next week for us.
But only a high of 23 tomorrow.
23. Now I did look for the end of December, December 31st, our high temperature should be in the mid-20s. So this is January-like weather. It's okay for people to complain about it being this cold.
Yeah, 38 is going to feel warm by the weekend.
Break out the shorts.
Dana, thank you. It is a simple formula. If the Packers want any chance at all of seeing the postseason, and Aaron Rodgers breaks it all down. That's next in sports.
The Packers need to act like their last 5 regular season games are playoff games, or else they'll miss the actual playoffs for a second straight season. Sunday night didn't help as the Packers fell even with the Browns in terms of overall record. Aaron Rodgers hooked up with Devontae Adams early for a touchdown, needed some more late. Kirk Cousins His favorite target, Adam Thielen, has 9 100-yard receiving games this year. 125 last night. This touchdown made it 24-14. Rodgers and the Packers offense only scored 3 points in the second half. A season low 198 through the air for number 12. 24-17 the final. The Packers have to start winning now.
I think our team has done a really good job keeping their eye on the target. You know, they're fighting. They're playing hard. They're giving us everything they got. We need to coach better and we need to play better.
Beat Arizona, beat Atlanta, and go to Chicago, a place we've won a number of times. Beat them. Go to New York around Christmas, beat them, and come home against Detroit, beat them. Get a little help.
You never know. Post-Thanksgiving weekend leftovers almost gone. The Bucs hoping the Hornets are still dragging from the food coma. The Deer first in the Central Division, 14-5 overall. The Bucs trailed by as many as 25 in the second half, but they were only down 3. Tony Parker, weird seeing him in a Hornets uniform. Misses the free throw. Giannis goes the length of the court in 4 dribbles. 20 points, 13 boards, 9 assists. Cuts the lead to 1. After 2 made free throws, they're down 3. Last chance, Eric Bledsoe. Chris Middleton, we need a shot. Back to Bledsoe. Yeah, Bucks lose. 110-107. They fall to 4-4 on the road. The Wisconsin men's basketball team knows they have to value the basketball if they want to win at their pace. Tomorrow night's game against North Carolina State will be much faster than it was against Virginia. And head coach Greg Gard knows his squad will do everything possible to avoid turnovers.
You always like to have a 0 in that column, but if you cut it in half, what can you do with those other 6 possessions? I think they have an appreciation of it and understand how important and vital that is. Regardless of opponent, we have to be sound and consistently sound.
The Wisconsin volleyball team's in the NCAA tournament for a 6th straight season. The Badgers earning the number 6 overall seed. Now they'll host the first and second rounds starting Thursday at UW Fieldhouse. If you drew up the perfect schedule to get you ready for the postseason, it would include a healthy dose of the Big Ten.
5 of the top 8 seeds in the NCAA tournament are from the Big Ten, which is just nasty, you know, and you know, so we've got the experience of playing against that type of competition. But Saturday was another one of those humdingers, you know, that hopefully it builds our confidence and something that we can continue to build on.
Bakersfield Condors' Joe Gambardella scores, and you know what that means. 8,500 fans unleash the fur, the 20th annual teddy bear toss game. Now, before last night, the events collected more than 121,000 stuffed animals. The size of those things, given to families in need and first responders. Took them a while to clear the ice, but it is all for a good cause. Stick around, stay stuffed. We're back after this.
Dana's back. We take one final check of the forecast.
Very, very chilly outside for us tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the low 20s for our afternoon highs. With that wind chill factored in, it'll feel like we are in the single digits. Overnight lows will be in the teens tonight and into Wednesday morning. A little more sunshine, though, for Tuesday and Wednesday compared to what we had today. Snow and rain showers possible, though, for the end of the week.
All right, Dana, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10. Have a great night.